In this video, I will be discussing How Did Faye Die in God of War. Be sure to stay till the end to find out my entire theory and to find out a little backstory about Faye. Here we go. We are all excited for the upcoming God of War Ragnarok, and videos and theories have exploded as of recently, which is awesome in my opinion. And there are many great YouTubers out there that cover the subject so well, so go out and check them out. And I want to thank all of you personally for your time and your support. Now let's get down to business. Faye, the driving force behind the entire new God of War game that came out in 2018. To spread her ashes across the tallest peak in all the realms, while she actually paved her way through our entire adventure. But how did Faye die? This is never explained in God of War, so that makes me suspicious that we're going to find out in the next game, or even the next one after that. So let's start with Faye and her significance in the Norse world. Now there is very little that I could find on Faye, or in Norse mythology, Laufey. But this is what I came up with. Laufey, or Null as she is also called, is a female giantess who gave birth to Loki with the giant far body. The name Null, which was a name that was given to her because she was very slender, can be translated to needle. But the name Laufey is a little harder, but most scholars have agreed that it could be translated to full of leaves. Which makes me believe that she has something to do with nature, but I'm not entirely sure. She also gave birth to two other sons, named Bylister and Helblindi. So, could Atreus actually have some other giant siblings? A theory for another day, maybe. Now, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I first heard this theory of how Faye died from the YouTuber Captain Cuba, who is a fantastic creator that covers a lot of God of War theories. If you have not checked him out yet, I highly recommend doing so. So I agree to an extent with his theory, so I'm going to take it in my own direction. So in God of War, we never do find out how Faye died. So this leaves a lot of speculation on the topic. But according to the book God of War Lore and Legends by Rick Barba, Faye began acting strangely a few weeks before her death. Faye would stay home and take care of the hut, do the gardening, and take care of Atreus, which included his training, while Kratos would go off on hunting trips a few days at a time, at most. One strange day, Faye was the one who left, and Kratos was the one staying home. She was gone for days, or over a week at a time. When she came home, she was sad and almost very tired. So where did she go, and what was she doing? Well, what if I tell you that I believe Faye was actually leaving the safety of her hut to go to Jotunheim? I believe that she was strategizing with her fellow Jotnar to fight against the Aesir. You can see here on the Jotunheim wall, Faye seems to be talking to a bunch of giants. Well, I believe Faye is so well known for her combat and her prowess as a warrior, she might have been the general of the Jotnar army. But this does not explain why she has been gone for so long. That is because time works much differently in each realm. An hour in one realm could be a day in another. I believe this is why Faye was gone for so long. The time in Jotunheim must run much slower than the time in Midgard. I also believe during this time that Faye traveled to the realms that we traveled to during our playthroughs, leaving her marks that guide us through our journey. Going through Midgard, Alfheim, Jotunheim, and every realm that we traveled to. She foresaw the future and knew Kratos and Atreus was the path to save her people, even though it meant that she could not be a part of it. Now this is where my theory is going to stray from Captain Cuba's. If you do want to know what he thinks will happen, please do. He's great. But in my theory, I believe that Faye knew that her time was coming, and that she had to act to try to save her people. But Shayne, if she could see the future, why didn't she just try to survive and hide her people so they could? Well, I do have a slight theory on this as well. So if she did stray from this plan that she had, which was to send Kratos and Atreus on their adventure, then maybe she saw what would happen, and the result would be more destruction among her people and the realms. So in saying this, I think Faye picked the path that would help the Jotnar the best, or at least come out with the best result. So moving forward with the theory, Faye knew there was a battle coming. Not Ragnarok, but something big. This is why she kept leaving, to prepare her troops. And since Faye could see the future, she knew what the results would be. And since Faye could see the future, she knew what the results would be, and would give the best chance for the Jotnar to survive, along with Kratos and Atreus. But Faye would try for peace first, by sending giants to Asgard to try to make peace with Odin, and maybe save her people the way that the giants did in mythology. But Shayne, if Faye could see the future, wouldn't she see that it wouldn't work? Well, I don't know about you, but I've never had a vision. And maybe they are not always clear and full of facts. Maybe it was a last-ditch effort for peace. But either way, it didn't work. The giant messengers were killed, and Jotunheim was stormed by the Aesir. This is also why I think many of the giants we see at Jotunheim are dead. I believe the path to Jotunheim was open in the battle waged between the Aesir and the Jotnar. I think this because Odin will want to stop Ragnarok from happening, and taking out the giants would be a good start to stop it. Or at least delaying it. Of course, all the big players are there. Balder, Odin, Magni, Modi, and of course the biggest giant killer of them all, Thor. The battle waged and the Jotnar took heavy losses facing the Aesir. At this point, I believe Faye, or some other Jotnar, would use an ancient piece of magic and cast out the Aesir from Jotunheim. But before they cast out the Aesir, Faye suffered a mortal blow. I'm not sure by who, but she would not survive for long. In this time, Tyr, who I believe was also fighting alongside the giants, broke the Bifrost with the Unity Stone and placed the travel room to Jotunheim in between the realms. This is why Odin wants to find a way back to Jotunheim. He knows there are giants that survived the battle, and it is the giants who will fight against the Aesir in the Battle of Ragnarok. Wow, that was a lot, wasn't it? So Faye, knowing she had to return to Kratos and Atreus, had help from Tyr to get home. While she is at home, she is a little down and not as bubbly as she usually is, because she knows she doesn't have long to live. She prepares Atreus for his adventures ahead, and gives Kratos instructions for her cremation. Then one day she finally passes, and our journey with Kratos and Atreus begins. So what do you think of this theory? Was it too out there for you? Do you agree with me? Or do you have a theory all of your own? If you do, please tell me about it in the comments down below, along with what you would like to see in future videos. My name is Shayne Static. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.